Ooh, right, fingers crossed this is going to work. I don't know if it will. I'm using a camera to record today, and I don't normally use cameras. No, my phone camera, that is. I normally use like an old-fashioned camcorder camera, because I'm not that technically minded. But we're going to give this a go because I'm having issues with my camcorder camera, so hopefully this is going to work. So this is part 3 of our folio that we've been making using the beautiful Tim Holtz papers that I got from Art Inspirations. Oh, there we go. And today I'm just going to do this cheeky little waterfall component that I've put in to my folio. So it's just going to be a quick one, and you know, it's a very simple mechanism, and you'll be able to tailor it to however you want it, basically. So let me fold that back up for now. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start by making myself 6 little cards, and I've made these little cards using some of them are made using the scraps from the papers that we used last time, and some of them are made from the strips. There's 5. Oh, I should have 6. There we go. I've got a 6th one here. So I've just made them roughly well, they are not roughly, they are exactly 2.5 by 3.5 inches wide, because that fits into the section of the folio. So we'll put those to one side a minute, ready to pop onto our waterfall mechanism. And then what I've done is I've taken a strip from the papers. This is from the sheets that have got the various different strips on, and this piece I've cut is 2.5 inches wide by 9 inches long. Now this is because, let me show you, on my waterfall you can see that the mechanism to pull down, I've made it narrower. I just fancied making mine narrower. If you want yours the same size, then make sure that your strip is 3.5. But I like the narrower look, and that's 2.5 by 9. Oh, so sorry, I got a bit excited there because I've actually I got the measurements right. So then I'm going to take my scoreboard, and on one end of here, depending on which side I want to be the front and which side I want to be the back, so I want this side to be seen, so I'm going to score on this side, and I'm scoring at every 1/2 inch, and I'm going to do 6 scores. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, 3 inches. So you've got 6 score lines. There we go. Then I'm going to just fold this just so I'm starting to get that movement as soon as things get put together. And then I'm going to add a little bit of ink to these edges as well. Let me get my ink pad I'm using. I go between the different sort of browns, but at the moment I'm still really into using my walnut stain. So I'm just inking those edges as they come round the waterfall. That's it, last one. There. So the next thing I want to do is I want to stick my little cards on. So I'm going to just get my adhesive, and I'm putting my glue underneath that fold line. I don't want to go over that fold line. Ooh, and also what I want to do is I want to make sure I get the middle as well. Bear with me, I did have one marked up and ready. Right, that's the middle point, and if I line this up on my board, I can get the middle, because once we've got one in position, that's about right. Once we've got one in position, it's much easier to get the rest in the right place. So again, just a little bit of adhesive, and I'm just making sure that's under the fold and lined up with the card underneath. And again, gonna go under the fold and line it up with the card underneath. And then one more under the fold and line it up with the card underneath, so we've got a nice little bit of uniformity there. And under the fold and line it up with the one underneath. And my last one, bit of glue and under the fold. Oh, that one's slightly shorter, but it will be okay. There we go. Right, they are all in place. Then what I want to do is I'm going to round these corners, because as you know, I do like a bit of corner rounding. Like that, and a little bit of inking on those bits. And I'm going to put a little eyelet in there as well. So let's eyeball that for being roughly central. And then I've got a nice eyelet to put in there. That's it. That one in there. And with these flaps, we can add we could add photos, we can add a bit more ephemera, we can really do anything to them that we want to decorate them. So I'm just going to pop this little bit of this is a little bit of sari ribbon, I think. Just get that through there, and that just is going to help. It's going to give something to pull on. that, and everything is moving nicely. Just checking. Yeah, that's all going to move nicely. So now I can get my folio. Let's move that out of the way for now. So I've got my page that it's going to go on. Just checking where my edges are to line it up. And I'm going to open this one because then I can get an idea of placement about there. So then I've cut myself a little strip, and this little strip is 4 inches by 1 inch. And this is going to kind of hold everything in place and make it all work. So what I need to do is I need to just put a little bit of adhesive on each edge, and I need to keep it to the edge because I haven't given myself much wiggle room with these measurements. So I need to hold that in place, and then this needs to go, there we go, this needs to go just under the bottom of the first flap. So line that up, and it's just under the bottom there, and we're sticking just those edges down so this can move freely. And because I've done the cards a little bit wider, they need to be able to move freely as they go round as well. Right, so the next little thing I need to do now is I need to just add some adhesive to this little bar I've put in place, and then I just need to stick my first card needs to just get stuck onto that bar like that. And then I'm just giving it a second for the adhesive to dry, but then we should be able to have our, I'm just a little bit reluctant to pull too hard because I have only just glued it, but there we are, we have our waterfall mechanism. And then I'm going to add some more little bits to both of these waterfalls, but I think these papers really lend themselves to a really interesting waterfall, and because they're double-sided you've got something interesting to look at on both sides. So I hope you like that, and I hope it's useful. And I'm just going to pop my paper clip back on here and pop that on there, and then we can pop this back how it was. So I will be back next week with another little addition for the folio. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.